So let's put in this way. People say like, you see like these are the things like when you buy the food, you try to look the food is looking good or not looking good. So everything is a perception, like is it looking good or not looking good, if it's smelling good, um, the shape and the size is proper. There's a lot of like a kind of your own criteria of buying the food product. Okay, same like for the cosmetics and other thing, like a smell, the textures, the good looking, all these things play very important role. So that's why the topic is, uh, do smart people pay to buy the poison? So are we fooling ourselves by the nice smell, by the good look of the product or something? The reason is very simple, that so many people today, I will put like one single point over here. And this single point is very important because when people get this, they get devastated. So 10-15 years back, there are not so many cases of cancer. There was like there are cancers always there. But today, when we talk about cancer, you know at least someone near you who have a cancer, who has a cancer. So the idea is the rate of cancer is increasing. And the bad news is the number will increase more and more in future. Okay. So what is happening when someone diagnosed with the cancer? Doctors never ask them what you were eating 15 years back or what your eating habit for last 10-15 years. Cancer doesn't appear overnight. That's what everyone has to understand. The key topic today is cancer doesn't appear overnight. Any disease in our body doesn't appear overnight. It is a kind of chemical toxins, bad stuff we are putting inside our body through the skincare and the food. So today I will focus only food for the last 10-15 years, which slowly converting, accumulating inside a body, and then converting into a kind of like a harmful things which ultimately cause cancer and many other diseases, right? So what happened, like you think about it, right? Like we have so many fancy supermarket today. You go and buy beautiful like food product, nicely packed. We have a one tendency, I want to give the example of fruits. If the fruits are looking very nice, they are shiny, we buy it. And if it is not looking very shiny and not looking very good, we don't buy it. So the ultimate, what is happening, we buy the product if they are looking good, and we don't buy the product if they are not looking good. Okay, so that's what we need to understand. We buy the product, they are looking good. We don't buy the product if they are not looking good. This is first concept. Now you buy vegetable from the supermarket. You pick up the vegetable and then you see like if there is a certain kind of like dots or some damaged part. If there's some damaged part in the vegetable, then you put it back and you try to look the vegetable which is absolutely clean, neat, good looking kind of thing. So you ultimately buy everything good looking. And that's where we are fooling ourselves for so many years, right? That we try to buy vegetables and fruits which are good looking. This is the thing. The fruits and vegetables which are good looking are treated with chemicals. So ultimately you pay extra premium price for the good looking, nicely packed food which are filled with chemicals. Okay, this is the first concept I want to establish here. Now come to the second concept. Have you ever heard about the tiger got cancer, elephant got cancer, chimpanzee got cancer? a wild animal is getting cancer? The answer is no. Okay. But at the same time, we heard about there's so many wild mushroom. They're very poisonous, right? That if we eat some wild poisonous mushroom, that we can die. In the jungle, there are so many wild poisonous fruits, plants, which we eat, we die. So the idea is that animals became so smart in jungle, they know what kind of food are safe for them and what kind of food they have to avoid. Okay, this is very, very important point I'm trying to make today, that animal with their own behavior, they have learned what to eat and what to avoid from jungle. And because they are not eating anything which is harmful to the body, they basically like really are healthy in many ways. Okay, so that's the one concept you have to understand. So that's the second line of the concept. So the whole idea here, again coming back to cancer. When someone diagnosed with the cancer, doctor never asked them what kind of food you were eating 15 years back, what kind of food you were eating 10 years back. Okay, so this is the another angle. Now I'm putting the third angle again, is I'm throwing a few questions to you so you can understand. The other question here is, organic food is not safe. If I say organic food is not safe, suddenly you will not going to believe me. And that was another big lie in 21st century. Like all the people are get so much fooled by this word called organic. Okay. We try to put your human logic that, wow, organic means no chemical, no pesticides, so it should be safe. So today we will discuss and I will explain you why I'm raising this question about organic food and safety. Now, the final question here is, when you go to the supermarket, do you read the label? And if you read the label, what are the things you read on the label? So that related question here is, do you know about the food labeling law in Hong Kong? That Hong Kong government introduced the food safety law as part of the food, as a result, like there's a nutritional labeling law, is to protect the community from the bad food, wrong food, toxic food, and all those kind of things. So the question is, do you know about these, right? So there is a very common kind of a seminar I use all the time, and it is a very, very popular seminar. The title is different, so I'm going to share some screenshot now, and I will cut and I will show few slides to establish the fact which I'm telling you today. I raised few questions just now. Okay, so repeating those questions again, we all buy good looking fruits and vegetables. Okay, this is the thing. The moment you see something wrong on this fruits and vegetable, you put it back by thinking that, oh, this is not good. Okay, so that's the first a mistake we do. Second thing, we buy organic food by thinking it is safe, and that's the question I put. Second thing you have to think about. I put the third line of a thinking for you, that wild animal such as tiger, elephant, chimpanzee, gorilla, do they get cancer? Have you ever heard about they get a cancer? The answer you will find no. Fourth thought I put about, there are so many wild poisonous mushrooms, wild poisonous trees, fruits, everything, but these wild animals have learned to avoid it. So then why as a human being we have not learned about it? Okay, are we more intelligent than the animal, or we are really more dumb than animal? This is really like eye-opening seminar today. The language may hurt certain people, but this is the fact. So today, be ready to listen something which may be a bit harsh for people, but today we are sharing the fact, and you need to know what is the industry fact. Okay, so then you can change your eating habit, your buying, purchasing habit. So you make sure that you don't put any wrong thing inside your body. That's the key thing, that you make sure that you don't put any wrong thing inside your body. So right now your purchasing criteria is driven by the marketing things. Okay, I want to give another few example. Like when we buy supplement or buy the good product, we said, okay, if I'm talking about the food stuff, right? I can understand, like when you buy a TV, you say like, okay, made in Korea, made in Japan makes sense, or like a non kind of things as compared to other company, that makes sense. But when you say like Apple, okay, I need made in Switzerland, I need made in USA. Why? Have you ever asked this question? When we go into the agro products, then why we still looking for the country? Okay, this is the very important question to understand, because agro product is a natural thing. You cannot say America is producing good oxygen as compared to Hong Kong, or as compared to Congo, or as compared to Venezuela, right? The oxygen is oxygen. Water, a potable water, drinking water, you go any damn part of the world, it's the same, right? So we have unfortunately created this a kind of a pseudo marketing behavior, where we have put our food into the same category as a TV, phones, and other non-living material. Okay, so the concept of, understand this, what is the difference between the smoke and the pollution? If the air is dirty, and if it is only smoke and you can't see, it's okay. But if this air is full with the industrial pollution and if still you can look better, that's more dangerous. So we all know that any industrial nation, they are emitting a lot of pollution in the air, correct? So all this Europe, America, all these developed countries, they are industrialized nation. They're producing so much polluted air. But when they are, and on other hand, say for example, I can see many Indians over here. If the India is an agriculture country, we don't have so many industry. Don't you think our air is more clean? So don't mix up with the industrial polluted air with the smoke air. Smoke is different because it doesn't have a bad chemicals inside it, bad pollutant inside it. Okay. Now say the distance of the Europe. Long time back, we had a tsunami in Indonesia, okay, or in Thailand. The waves within 24 hours hit to the east coast of India. We all know that the tsunami of 2004 started somewhere in Indonesia, Malaysia, Thailand, this particular belt, and then travel within 24 hours all the way to India and hit the Indian East Coast. What I'm trying to say, when some wrong thing goes so far, then the air is the easy thing. So don't you think the European air is really good? Because on one hand, they are industrialized nation. But on other hand, we say like the fruits, vegetables are very good. There's a lot of people like paying premium on made in Germany agro product, made in Australia, Austria, made in Switzerland. Why? So today we are going to find the answer of this. That's how we are fooling ourselves. Okay, because it does not make sense. So I'm going to share my screen, and here you go. Can you see the screen? Yes. All right. So this is the topic. Are you eating safe? Okay, that's the question I'm asking to you. Are you eating safe? right? So what is your answer? Most of you will say yes, you are eating safe because nothing is happening to you, right? Because I said here it takes 15 years. So to, if you are eating something bad, nothing is happening to you today or tomorrow or day after tomorrow or like in few days. So my second question is, well, there's a, how safe is your safe food? So suppose your food is safe. Okay, so the question is, how safe is your safe food? Think about it. Why I put this title, Are You Eating Safe? You will say, yes, I'm eating safe because the you're not getting any side effect or you're not falling sick today after eating, tomorrow, after 1 month, after 2 months, after 3 months, after 4 months. So there's a perception you are eating safe. But when you are eating safe, I'm asking you the second question. How safe is your safe food? Okay. So I just wanted to like come up to a topic. I call it wake up call. It's a wake up call. That's what everyone has to understand. What we are exposed to, we are all exposed to a high environmental pollution. We are exposed to high access to processed food, obviously unhealthy lifestyle. And then I use this very specific word called high toxic load. Remember this word called toxic load. The toxic load is very high in our body, which are creating two things on a daily basis. One is the disease and second is the stress. Okay. As a result, this is combined with, we call it foodborne disease. I mean, the disease which is coming from the food. So obviously you have a bad eating habit. So for example, like we all talk about, okay, don't eat oil, don't eat sugar and all those kind of things. So that we put under the bad eating habits. We are not talking about that today. We are talking the second part we call the unsafe, contaminated, infected food. So here today we are talking about the food which is you think is very good. You are eating salads. For example, you are eating a beautiful salad, all greens, looking perfect, very nice. That's what we are talking about. Is that salad is safe, right? So that's the part of the second part over here. I don't know whether you can read this screen in your computer or phone or not. I have just given you a certain kind of just to example for you to understand. There are many things like which we eat create a disease, and many things which we eat make us healthy. I just pick up one or two example, like, okay, we like eat like a red meat, or we eat like a kind of MSG, high sodium, high sugar, fried food. These are the example, we get a disease. But then there's a good thing is that like we eat like uh, a kind of like a fiber, amino acids, fish kind of stuff, green vegetables kind of stuff. So there's a lot of things, good and bad. So we are not going into that, but I'm just putting a kind of indication to you. There is a good and there's a bad. So that's what your mind works today. Like whole population minds work. What is good, what is bad, and we all know this is the good food and this is the bad food. Okay, but remember that today we are talking about foods. Is your food is safe or it is not safe? So even your good food can be unsafe food. So that's where we are putting this logic, and we will go ahead. Just for your little bit understand that it's a bit funny thing, but like you can find out, like if you are angry, it affects your liver. If you are always sad person, it affects your lung. If you are always worry, it affects your stomach. If you are always stressed, it affects your heart and brain. And if you are always fearful, it affects your kidney. This is very interesting thing. So your emotion is directly related to many of your organs. Okay, this is the thing. So food affects the health, health affects the mood, Mood affects the behavior, behavior affects the organ. So anyway, we move further. I just put here is a kind of a, do you know the carcinogenic chemical, right? The chemical which cause cancer. So just remember that the chemicals which cause cancer are divided into 4 groups. It's called group 1, 2A, 2B, 3, and 4. So actually it is divided into 5 groups. Every person should know about it, that the cancer causing chemicals are divided into 4 groups, but group 2 is divided into 2A, 2B. I'm not going into detail. So there is a huge list of cancer causing chemicals. There's a huge list of like other chemicals which is causing different kind of health effect. So if we put together, we say harmful chemicals. So let's use the word harmful chemicals. So when you go buy your vegetables, you buy your fruits, you buy your food, have you ever think about that, are you paying to buy the harmful chemicals to put inside your body, right? That's what we are missing out. We think like, okay, so this is a picture of the cell, and why I'm putting this picture to make you understand that whatever going inside our body is not that simple. It's very complicated. It's a science. It's much more complicated than rocket science. Let's put in this way, that our body, the body mechanism is much more complicated than rocket science. And that is why till today, we do not have the cure for cancer. Okay. So the genetic science, what we have learned, how our cell operate, how our body operate, how our organ operate, is not something as simple as we talk. It's a very, very extremely complicated science. And that's where we have to understand that everything which we put inside our body has to be like very pure and safe. Now, this is the slide, and you see at the bottom, like some beautiful pictures which I have taken as a part of my research under microscope. They all look beautiful, but they are really, really bad stuff. They create a lot of toxins. So imagine that for a moment. I'm giving you the Hong Kong situation. Hong Kong situation is something very interesting. You see your food plate. So your lunch or your dinner. So for example, take your lunch plate. In a lunch plate, you may be sitting with 50 countries product on your one single lunch plate sitting in Hong Kong. Because Hong Kong, we don't do any farming. There's not much product in Hong Kong. So when you are buying certain stuff, some of the stuff is coming from South America, some is coming from America, some is coming from Europe, some Australia, India, Thailand, from everywhere. And then when you go to the grocery store, you don't see from where this product is coming. And you just like buying, like, okay, you are buying milk, you are buying vegetables. You don't see from which country it is coming. So these are the certain point I'm trying to make. Like today, what you are eating, you are not eating from the food from one country. You are eating the food from coming from every country. This is the another thing. What is the relationship with the food safety? I will explain you later. Okay. Now, there are 3 organizations in the world who control the food safety. First is the Codex Committee. We call the Codex Commission. World Health Organization, and the third one called the FAO, Food and Agriculture Organization. These are the 3 organizations which control, just like a United Nations, they control the food safety. So in Hong Kong also. Now I put this like, what is the problem with the food safety? So this is a program like government, every government has a protocol, food safety protocol. Like without food safety protocol, no company can sell the food in the supermarket. Okay, so same it is in Hong Kong also. So just take the example of the millennium, that food safety protocol started somewhere around 1970, and by the 2020, this graph, this is the implementation. But at the same time, if we put about like the science, you can see how the science started and going too fast. We have learned a lot. So what happened by 20 years back? Now we are in 2020. So 20 years back, after 2000, you see the gap started going bigger. And in 2020, the gap is so big that we know so much in science about food safety, but the food safety law is still that old fashioned. So many things we know in science is not included in food safety. So when it is not included in the food safety, obviously you will not test about it. So we are missing so many important points. This is a very, very dangerous point. Everyone has to understand that if there is not a part of the regulatory protocol and the science has already discovered it, right, which are missing. So that's the problem over here. I want to bypass some slide, want to come into one slide to show you. This is like one of the most famous book where I was also a part of it. It's called The Food, Nutrition and Prevention of Cancer, A Global Perspective. So more than 150 countries work together to identify like, is any relationship with the eating food and the cancer? Or is there any solution of cancer by changing the diet habit and all those kind of things? And the outcome is like, is very interesting when you learn the outcome kind of thing. So I'm just sharing some important point with you. So let me see. Many people are attending my seminar over here previously also, and they know like I never use a PowerPoint because PowerPoint basically break your flow. So, but today I'm just like using this PowerPoint to show certain things to make you understand. Now, these are the stuff, again, this beautiful stuff, which is I recorded in Hong Kong. They look so beautiful, okay? So they are different kind of virus, bacteria, and all that kind of stuff. So what is happening? Every day we are recording the new bacteria and viruses, okay? So same like what we talk about corona pandemic going on right now. Corona pandemic is nothing but it's a new type of virus and having a new impact on the community. So same here, it's nothing surprising for us. We as a scientist, we keep recording a lot of new bacteria and viruses every day. And so I gave you some part, my personal research. So to show you that there are so many different kind of like bacteria, look so beautiful, but some of them are very dangerous. So logic I'm trying to put like every day, we have a lot of new bacteria and viruses coming up. Okay, keep this in mind that it's not there every time. We are discovering new and new every time. Okay. Now this is something very important. Have you heard about biotoxins? How many of you heard about biotoxins? I just want to come out from this uh, um, slide and I want to interact with you. Let's see how many people, because that's where I'm entering. How many of you heard about biotoxins? Okay. Do you know what is the implication? Okay, Lavina, have you heard about biotoxins before? Sangeeta, Lavina, all other people, like, have you heard about biotoxins before?
No.
Okay.
No.
Okay. 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 So we all heard about, we all okay, we someone to unmute me. Okay. All right. So we all know harmful chemical. Okay. Because it's a very common term. Harmful chemical means chemical which is not good for our body. But we most of the people don't know about the biotoxins. So let me explain you what is biotoxins, and after learning the biotoxins, maybe your life can change. Like we have immune system, right? immune system is not any organ. Immune system is a kind of a response. When our body realizes that there is some kind of infection inside the body, some bacteria virus attack or some kind of wound, the immune system start acting to it to repair or fight back. Correct? Right? We don't have any organ. You cannot say that we have an organ which is the immune organ. No, it's a system, right? So every plant also have immune system, but we don't say immune system. We call it plant defense mechanism. Now this is very interesting. Hear this very carefully. What is a plant's defense mechanism? That every plant, like as a human, suppose we are in Hong Kong. Hong Kong is subtropical. What is the definition of subtropical? Means the temperature throughout the year is ranging between, say, 10 degree to 33 degree, like that, right? But we don't have any kind of snow here. So that is why semi-tropical. You see, you go further down, you will see many countries where you see coconut tree. Coconut tree is the example. This is the tropical countries. But then when you further going down towards the equator, you will find certain countries do not have any season. They are warm throughout the year. We call them aseasonal. This is a very important point. And if you understand this kind of a logic of our planet Earth, you can solve a lot of this food safety problem. You will see like what to do with the equator, with the food safety, and that you will understand. So in India, say for example, the South India is a tropical. The southern India, northern India, tropical, except Himalayan. But Sri Lanka is also tropical. But what is the difference between Sri Lanka and India? Sri Lanka is a aseasonal tropical and India is a seasonal tropical. So seasonal tropical means you have a summer, you have a winter, you have a monsoon. Whereas the aseasonal tropical, throughout the year, the temperature is more or less same and the rain fall within that. Then we have some place like Hong Kong, we call it subtropical. And then as we go up is temperate, where we have snow. So it's not like a human being. Like we travel everywhere, our body adopt, we wear, like we have an intelligence, so we wear the jacket or we remove or we increase the heat and all those kind of things. But our blood temperature remain stable. That's what you have to understand. Our blood temperature remains stable. So what we are doing, we are like wearing the warm clothes in order to make us warm. When we go to the warm country, we are putting the air con to make us cold, right? So this is the way we are doing it. Plant can't do that. If the plant is growing in a tropical place, and if you take that plant and grow in Japan, plant is not happy because they are not born for that climate. And that's where that plant will start releasing certain chemical, which is basically to defend the originality of that particular plant. That's called biotoxins. And these chemicals are very toxic in nature. Okay, very simple. We never bother about it. So never fiddle with the plant. If the plant is growing in India, don't take it to Switzerland to grow. If the plant is growing to Switzerland, don't bring to India to grow. If it is in this way, you have a lot of bad stuff sitting inside that plant. Why? It's a part of the plant defense mechanism. This is the thing is not came into public domain very much. I don't know why. But I would like to give you the example, same example, so you can understand in a Hong Kong a text. How many of you heard about red tide in Hong Kong? Red tide. The whole sea water looks red and so many fish die. There's so many reports in Hong Kong. Have you heard about the suddenly so many fish have died? Wow, that's interesting. So this is the thing. So you are not in touch with real Hong Kong. It's like some kind of a top stories about food safety in Hong Kong. Hong Kong is one of the very a notorious place in the world where we have a series of red tides every year, and it kills millions and billions of dollars of fish industry all across the world. Okay, so what is in this red tide? Red tide is when the temperature of sea goes wrong or something goes wrong, the algae, the plants which grow inside sea or in sea, they are not happy and they suddenly start producing a lot of them, and they produce some kind of toxin which is like which make them red in color. But these toxic are so bad that it kill the fish immediately. Okay, because fish is like very small, it's very easy to kill. It cannot kill us. Okay, so that's why I'm giving you the example to understand, because fish is so easy, so they get killed immediately. But we are so well designed, it comes in our body but sit as a toxin. It doesn't harm us, but it harms us in the longer way. So now I'm sharing a certain page, and look this one. This is something. Okay, so these are the toxins which is there in a seafood. I'm giving you the example of the seafood, but these are the same toxins available in any kind of fruits, vegetables. We call it like neurotoxin. Neurotoxins affect our brain. Hepatotoxins, they affect our liver. Obviously, carcinogens cause cancer. This is a very common thing, and I will encourage all of you, please, after this seminar, Google PSP, DSP, NSP, ASP. Please learn about it. It will help a lot, especially the people, those who eat fish. Okay. There's a sexy toxins, domain acid. I want to give a domain acid. Domain acid is very common in Hong Kong. You see the kid over here at the back of this lady. This kid is 18 years old, but his growth is completely stopped because he got the effect of the toxins. You see the cow is dead near the river because the cow was drinking that water, those who got like means filled with biotoxins. I give you a few examples here. You read the corner a slide. The amount of PSP toxin that will kill an adult human is 1.5 milligram. Okay, so there is a dose. It can kill us. But unfortunately, or fortunately can say, rather fortunately, we never get that dose in one go. So it never kills us, but it accumulates inside our body. Okay, so this is a toxins. Now, this is very important to understand how it misled the science. There is a one graph from 1992 to 1997. You understand that and you can understand everything. See, in the blue color, there's so many things in the sea, they die. And it was assumed or predicted before 1997, before we came to know about biotoxins very much in the science. The mortality rate, means the death rate, is only 9%. But as we learn more about that, suddenly the same thing increase. You see the bottom one, over 50%. So it's about knowing and not knowing. Biotoxins is a very new science. It is not very old, but when we didn't know, when science didn't know about biotoxins very much, we thought, oh, it's not something, it's only 9%. But when we learn about it, we learned like, wow, 50% of the sea mortality is due to the biotoxins. And then you see 43%, we don't know, unknown. So 93% of the bad stuff is going inside is actually bad stuff. And if you understand this, we can very clearly divide into two parts, pre-1997 and post-1997. We learn a lot about biotoxin about post-1997. It's a very new to science. And that is why you never heard about so much. But I want to give you some other food. Example, this program called Harness, Harmful Algal Research and Response National Environment Science Strategy, 2005 to 2015. America is always ahead in terms of the science and technology to implement certain things. Now you see, like by 2015, they have already implemented the whole policy in a place about the biotoxins. And this is the policy paper. But rest of the world, they never heard about it. They're far behind. Means like our part of the world, even like what I'm discussing with you, you are hearing first time. I can guarantee you this, because people don't pay attention to this. Why? Because no food label is talking about it. Nothing is like mentioned biotoxins. You never read this like biotoxin free or something like that, or toxic free. But this is the example to explain you it is there. This is few example, the satellite view. When we have a biotoxin, that's how the sea looks like. The blue water convert into a very deep green water or red water. So this is the giving you the example, but the same thing looks like into the farmland also. So this is the example of biotoxins. Now again, putting like the two kind of picture over here. You look like the upper one. It is the picture from 1970 when we didn't know anything. You see the only some dots in near the western coasts of America and Alaska. Very few of them, because we didn't know about it. But once we know, then you see suddenly the whole world is actually infected or infested with biotoxins. So the idea here is, if you eat the fish or seafood from anywhere in the world today, there is no safe seafood. They're all filled with biotoxins. This picture showing that, right? Is it clear? Did you understand what I try to say to you? The message what I'm trying to put across, there are certain things you don't know. Doesn't mean it does not exist. Biotoxins is a subject which is not very much familiar among the people, so we ignore. When you go to the supermarket, you never pay attention to see whether your food is free of biotoxins. You look like your food should not have a chemicals, you should not have a fertilizer, you should not have an artificial color, flavor. But you never bother about your food should be free of biotoxins or not. So, as we know, there are the cause. There's so many chemicals which causing cancer. The same like there are so many biotoxins which are causing cancers. Now, biotoxins and the chemical toxins, what are the difference between two? The chemical toxins are the chemicals. It is made in the industry. Biotoxins are the same thing, but it is not made in the industry. This is the thing on daily basis, like the bacteria and viruses are producing by themselves. And it is in our ecology, in our food chain. So imagine that you have a beautiful salad or soup or beautiful lunch, and you think like you are eating fiber, you are eating a very good protein, you have all the good items in it. You check everything, but you miss to check one thing, whether it is biotoxins free or not. Suddenly all your hard work has gone waste. Why? Because you are thinking you are eating so beautiful, but you have taken so much toxins for that particular day inside your body. Now in the evening, you nicely went for 1 hour like walking. you're doing exercise, you're doing yoga, and you feel yourself, wow, I am doing very good in my life. Now I'm telling you, you might have heard many people, hey, I live very healthy life. I should not get sick, but why I got sick? This is the answer. There are many people who think they are living healthy life. They are not living healthy life because they are like fixing the knowledge as per what satisfy you. If your brain is trained to see like greens are good and red meat is bad, then you say, okay, I don't want to eat red meat. I am eating a lot of green. You are having a healthy eating habit, correct? But then no one ever talk about food safety. So if you don't talk about food safety, does it make sense to eat greens? What happens if your greens are full with biotoxins, full with the chemicals, right, which is produced by the bacteria, mostly by the bacteria and algae? Now that's how the interesting thing is coming in, organic food. So what happened, the human mind, how you see like how we fool the human mind. In the human mind, we create a logic that, okay, we don't have to eat the chemical. So now organic farming is no chemical, correct? So organic farming, that's how the mind is working, that organic, the chemicals is not good for the body. All these things are bad for the body. So now organic food do not have chemicals inside. It's organic. But now implement my knowledge, what I said to you. How the organic food is grown? Is grown by composting. Compost, right? We all know compost. What is compost? Is basically we are like rotting the stuff by putting the bacteria into it. Okay, it's a waste material, and we degrade through a kind of like a bacterial process or biological process to make a manure. So now in a human mind, we are saying, oh, we are using the natural process to make a manure. There's no chemical involved. But at that time, you don't have a knowledge of, you can't hear? Okay, okay. So in a natural process, you are using manure by using a natural process, okay? So your mind is working, okay, I didn't touch any chemical. I didn't touch any chemical, so manure is safe. So in my organic farming, I didn't use any chemical. It should be safe. Now introduce the theory of biotoxins. Suppose the bacteria which you are using for producing the manure is producing a lot of toxins. So your organic farm is also, there's a possibility, is filled with toxins, which the organic food is taking up, right? That's the biotoxins. So that's how, please, please, please understand this, that it's not about organic, it's not about chemical free, it is about food safety. So come to the question, when you go to buy your product, do you ask the vendor that is your product is safe to eat or not? And that's where the food safety law comes in place. It is the government regulated stuff. There's a legal procedure. You cannot sell food if it is not safe. If it is unsafe, full of toxins, government has a legal implication on it. So what I'm helping everyone to understand, previously there was a law called HACCP. In my previous seminar also I repeated, and these days it's called ISO 22000. If any food company or any food, those who are not putting ISO 22000 on their label or HACCP on their label, it means they have not tested for the food safety, even though it is organic. So if you are buying a pure organic food, it has to be ISO 22000 certified. So organic is a way of farming. It's not a guarantee of the food safety. ISO 22000 is the guarantee of the food safety. Okay, so that's why don't go into this kind of word like free of chemicals or free of like this or that and all that. Doesn't matter whatever there, but it has to verify by ISO 22000. Okay, so that's the very important. Now, why we say people are buying poison? Because people don't know this. And people think like, oh, I'm eating salad. I'm eating soup. I'm eating green. I'm eating all good. Let's put the money into it. And that's what I'm saying. You are buying the wrong stuff because you have a half knowledge. And we always say half knowledge is very dangerous. Right? That is the reason so many people, you need to see the number of people falling sick around you. You have to look around you and see how many people are suffering. The reason is what I'm saying, that they have a 50% of knowledge. And in the modern science, one of the biggest science which has unfolded in 21st century is the biotoxins. Biotoxins is something very big. And in next 10, 20 years, you will see that biotoxins, people will learn a lot about it. Okay, so I think this whole idea is clear, right? Now, why we have ignored biotoxins? The word toxins itself doesn't do any harm to your body immediately. That's what you have to understand. Okay, like smoking, chewing tobacco, they're not going to harm you immediately. Alcohol, they're not going to harm you immediately. They're accumulating inside your body years after years after years after years. They accumulate for 10, 15 years inside your body. That's what we call toxic load. So let me show you one final slide which will help you to understand this, if I can find this. Okay, so yeah, here is this slide. So there's a big difference between the safe and unsafe. Okay, there's only one thing we call it unsafe, which is poison. What does that mean? If you eat something and if you have immediately something, food poisoning or some dizziness, you fall down, something happened, you say, oh wow, I ate a wrong food. Correct? Because you have an immediate reaction to of that food. But then all things you see, like we have a biological toxins, we have a chemical toxins, we have a polluted, we are not affected immediately. So we are ignoring these three things in our food on daily basis. So we are only two level of safety. Either it is a safe or unsafe, either it is pure clean or it is poison. But what we are ignoring, beside poison or clean, we have a polluted chemical toxin and biological toxins, which we ignore every day throughout our life. We have no respect to these three words. We never bother about looking these three words. You understand? It's very simple, but it's very powerful. Imagine that, like today, if there is toxins, I saw like a PSP, which damage your brain. Nothing is happening today. But if you keep accumulating this for 15 years, that's where your brain started affecting. So this dementia, Parkinson, memory loss, sleep disorder, so many things can be directly linked to biological toxins. Okay, so that is why I put this topic today, to understand that don't buy biological toxins. So I just to emphasize the word, I put poison, because you are buying good looking food. Good looking food is a kind of like mental misleading concept. Okay. You can buy everything very good looking, but learn to buy a ugly, bad looking fruits and vegetable. Because there's a concept. If the fruit is not looking very good and ugly, it means the insects and the natural things are coming and biting and eating them. If the insect can bite and survive, so you can. Okay. If the insect cannot bite the leaf, you cannot. So from today onward, if you make a one simple change in your practice of buying fruits and vegetable, that try to buy a little bit of bad looking fruits and vegetable, which has a one spot where the insect is bite or something, some you see the some spots. That's the food is good for you because insects are thriving on it. Okay. So I hope you understand. And I said, people don't like my this particular topic. Right? This is one of the difficult one because it's very harsh, because it changed people's whole mindset, because people don't like to listen the truth. This is a human psyche. Okay. So I end over here. I think like I put my message across, and if you have any question, please most welcome to ask the question. Yes.
Doctor, I have a question.
Who is this?
Sangeeta.
Yeah, hi, please.
Hi, Doctor. I want to ask you, Doctor, you said about the biotoxins, that not to buy those vegetables which don't have that packaging which says ISO 22000 and all. But many of the vegetables we buy from the wet market and they don't have any labeling.
Okay, so that is why I will some other time I will take. Okay, so if you want to complete the question, if is other part of the question, or I can answer this.
No, that's it. I'm confused. Even like fruits or vegetables, we buy from the wet market. Many of the fruits are not available. In the supermarket, like whatever we want to get, we go to the market to buy.
Okay, there are two things, right? Yeah, there are two things. Anything which is pre-packaged or packed, you see, like there's a lot of green people these days, and green people say like, hey, why this supermarket is selling fruits which are packed? We are unnecessarily generating the waste, right? So the reason behind it, that all this big supermarket, they learn about a food safety protocol. Okay, so they are doing the full process of food safety. And then say, for example, part one, if you go to marketplace or like just any supermarket, you must ask them whether it is ISO certified or not, 22 certified or not, and it is their responsibility. There's a communication you can write. Okay, there is a kind of like a new movement. It's a revolution. Okay, we are in a part of the consumer revolution where consumer have to learn more about it, and they have rights to learn more about it. Industry is hiding many things from them. Okay, so you have a lot of salespeople there. You remember every shop has a sales manager. Okay, so that's, you can ask there, like, I want to know. You leave your number with them, you leave your email with them, and you ask them like, I want to know whether it is ISO 22000 or not. Okay, so this is like about the supermarket. Now come to the wet market. In a wet market, yes, there's no controlling, but from 2007 onward, Hong Kong government has put the food safety law in a place. So there's a lot of food safety inspectors in Hong Kong who visit this wet market very often and take the sample and do. Because I have a limited time, I didn't explain you how the food safety is tested by the government and other people. But since 2007, we have a food safety department. But still, that is not very up to date. So there is a question, and your question is very valid for the wet market. And that is why I told you how to find out. So the only very easy way is buy the fruits and vegetable from the wet market, which has a biting mark. If the biting mark is not there, the biting mark is your HSC, like ISO 22000 for the wet market. Okay. So if you have a biting mark, see, this is the human nature. Like most of the female I can see in this room, you guys go in the market and you pick up the best looking fruits and vegetables. I guarantee you this. right? And that's where you are fooling yourself, because this is the things you are putting yourself, like, which is chemically treated, right? If this thing is growing in agro farm, so many insect, right? If you leave this beautiful fruits and vegetable in the open, don't you think the bird will come and poke like the into the fruits and vegetable, or the insect will come and sit and make a bite of this? That's a natural process. So try to consume the product which are like has some kind of spots of insect bite or bird bites and all those kind, and you can find it. Now you start noticing this, you can find a food which has a bird bite, insect bite. So that's your guarantee. So you have to change your mindset like that. Okay, this is very important. Hope this help you to understand. Yeah, any other question?
Monica, you have a question?
You have to unmute your,
Yeah, sorry, yeah. Doctor, it was very insightful. And where can we buy these kind of fruits and vegetables and fish for, because we thought fish is quite safe, the meat is safe. And I didn't know that, it can be that dangerous.
yeah. So that's the message today. That's the message today, that we are disconnected with our food. Our shopping behavior, or purchasing behavior of the food is absolutely wrong. So we are satisfied, it's a pseudo satisfaction going on towards us, like we are eating healthy. And that is why after 10-15 years, many of us are falling sick, right? That's very clear. That's the topic today, that why, if we are eating good, why we are falling sick? We should not fall sick. We are falling sick because of the point which I mentioned today, that on daily basis we are really taking so many bad stuff inside our body. Okay,
But
now,
where can we buy the good one?
yeah, no, that's what I'm coming to. So in 2007, imagine that Hong Kong is the world city, right? Is very popular among the world. But do you know, like, till 2006, we didn't have even a food safety department. The Asia's world city and the one of this international city, this is a shocking for you, that till 2006, we don't have even a food safety department from the government. It was a January 2007, the first time the food safety department was introduced in Hong Kong government legally. And then this is only 13 years. So we have a 13 years of baby. Now there is a lot of complication in Hong Kong because we don't have like the whole a fleet of expertise in the university. Even they are fresh graduates. They don't know about this much about the food safety, because you need a manpower too, right? So there are a lot of like a process over the time period, it will improve. So how we fix it? It's called the blue tech fish. So giving the answer first about the fish, there's called the blue tech fish. So agriculture and fishery department. So you need to understand, like right now, say you are a disconnected consumer. But then second is, let's say you are a aware consumer. So the moment you become aware consumer, you will know, like, we have a food and environment hygiene department, we have an agriculture fishery department, there are certain department who is regulating our food, supplement, everything for us. Okay. So agriculture and fishery department has this policy. It's called the green tag fish. They also have designed the fishing zone for the local fishing, because they are aware about it. So the idea is, as I said, it's a revolution, because I give this seminar on a very so many different platforms, like a technical and non-technical community platform. The purpose is to make you aware what I talked today, and to help you to get connected and to become the part of this revolution of the new industry. That you should know that it is a responsibility of the seller to tell you everything honestly, like this is the food I'm selling to you. So by law, government is saying, but it is yet not implemented properly. Okay, so it doesn't mean that it do not exist. It already started. Okay, so when you go to the supermarket, this is one thing you can see, ISO 22000. You just look into that. Don't buy anything which is not written ISO 22000. The second thing is, every supermarket has the customer service department. These days, everyone is on the phone. If you just want to be aware, you just shoot one email to customer service department of any. It is their legal responsibility to reply you back. So today I'm also telling you, it's a legal responsibility in Hong Kong for all the shopkeeper to answer you back if you have any queries about any food and its safety. Okay, that's a government regulated. Now, if you going in the wet market and if you don't have answer, you write AFCD or agriculture fishery department. Okay, there's a very clear cut community. So Hong Kong is very good in community engagement. So sometime we will take this seminar that only about the community engagement, right? So once you know these are your channel to learn more, then automatically you will say, wow, I didn't know this. And suddenly, like, you will get a new excitement because you have a lot of choices, lot of product, and at the end of the day, what will happen? Your shopping list is going to change. Hope this helps. Yeah.
Thank you. Yes.
Yeah. Thanks.
Yeah, doctor, I have a question.
Yes, please.
Actually, because Hong Kong, we eat, vegetables and fruits from all different countries, right? But
Yes.
I try and pick out like the vegetables and the fruits that are in season. So is it true that the non-seasonal fruits and vegetables would actually contain more biochemicals because it's growing in a the weather is not permitting it to grow and they're growing it still? So would that be more dangerous than to eat the seasonal fruits?
Yes. Okay. So use the word biotoxins. Okay. So biotoxins. The reason of using the word biotoxins, because toxins means it doesn't affect your body immediately. Okay, it doesn't harm you immediately, it just accumulate inside you for many years. Okay, so now, as I said, from where the toxins are coming? Toxins are actually coming from the bacteria and algae. These are the single cell organisms. There's a lot of things, so mostly from the bacteria. In Hong Kong, because the fruits and vegetables are coming from all over the world, after that, they are storing in the cold storage. So there are two processes. One, they put the cold storage, but even after putting the cold storage, if there is a, say for example, cabbage, after some time, there is a layer of the bacteria will grow. So they do a lot of chemical treatment to kill those bacteria. Okay. So there's a two kind of treatment. One is a chemical treatment, so they can increase the life of these fruits and vegetables. And second is the cold storage. They put into the low temperature. Okay, but it is treated. Seasonal means what you need to eat. You need to make sure, I give you the keyword. Just make sure that you are eating fresh. It's not cold stored. Okay. So there are a lot of facilities these days in Hong Kong where the fruits are traveling, even if it's traveling around the world. So that's very good. I will encourage everyone to follow Sabina, because that's the way that please eat seasonal food. Because if the food you are getting in Hong Kong, which is not seasonal, it means it is already stored here for 1 year or 6 months. So you are getting that food on your plate 6 months later. It is harvested from the farm 6 months before. Okay. So say for example, something is growing, the top season is October and November. Right now is going in August. So last 2-3 months, if you are eating that, you are eating which is harvested in October and November. So learn about more fresh food concept, seasonal food concept, And there are many shops who are bringing this fresh food in Hong Kong. So there's a little bit effort is there. You have to make a little bit effort to learn about this. But the concept of what you are going is true. Stick with the seasonal food, but then I add fresh. That's where you eliminate the question of biotoxins. Because if it is not fresh, then the biotoxins are there.
Thank you.
Yeah, welcome.
Okay, does anybody else have any more questions?
I can see Lani here.
Lani,
Have any question?
So far, no.
Oh, okay.
okay, anyone else? Yeah.
Dina, I can ask one more question.
Yes, please.
So doctor, is it true that meat, like, meat products like, fish, etc., would have higher biochemicals than plant-based vegetables and fruits because, they're living organisms?
No, it's put in this way. Plant-based food has a higher risk of biotoxins as compared to meats and vegetables. As compared to the meats.
Okay.
But in a meat, fish has a higher chance of getting those kind of thing, because it's a food cycle, right? So fish, anything which is from the water. So just remember, very simple. You have to be extremely careful if you eating anything which is coming from the water. So whether it is a seafood or fish, whatever, that's number one. Number two, anything which is coming from the farm, fruits, vegetables, anything. Further, I added organic. Don't trust organic is a process, means they didn't include the chemical. But because they use the manure has a lot of bacteria, there's a possibility of increasing. So if they don't have the food safety certificate, okay, there's a chance of having more biotoxins. The problem with the meat is the hormones, because they use a growth hormone these days a lot. So that is a different issue with meat. So today, because I focus on biotoxins, so we stick with that. But if you want to ask a meat, we can have a separate topic, because it is more to do with the growth hormones, because they inject the growth hormone to produce faster and go bigger like that, and which has an adverse effect in our body. Yeah, but it's mostly for your greens. So the logic here is like, we think green is very good for the body. So I'm adding like two more, so with you, I add okay, eat seasonal green, eat fresh green, eat safe green. So seasonal, right? Fresh and safe. This should be your 3 mantras.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
I have a question. So this is food that we eat, but how about food that we apply on our hair or skin? Are there any safety levels to follow?
Same thing, say what? No, that is a chemical thing, because here biotoxins means which is in the living form. Biotoxins are usually produced when they are in the living form. So everything is related to agriculture product. Okay, so anything when we are doing agriculture related product, we concern about biotoxins. But when we talk about the skin care, hair care, then we have to talk about chemical toxins or harmful chemicals, because it is already processed form. So always have to see there are yes, we can talk about the cosmetic safety or skin care safety or hair care safety. So again, the way I mentioned about the meat product, they have the growth hormone. So same in the cosmetic and hair care, we have a lot of cancer causing chemicals. Okay, so ultimately we have to avoid that. So how do we know that what are the things need to avoid? So I think we should have a separate seminar completely on that, because today I really want to emphasize this thing, means because that's what happening in the world. And when I see with the people, I really feel like really very sad that if something means at the beginning of my talk, I explained to this, right? Say, imagine your lifestyle. You think you are very healthy, right? So you are having a very good meal plan for a day. And then you are thinking like you are really eating very good. And then you are going for exercise, you are going for yoga, you are doing for meditation, you are looking very slim, trim, beautiful, everything like that. And you think I'm okay. But quietly something is going on in your body for 10, 15 years, which you are not aware of. If you don't focus what I spoke to you today or shared with you today. And that's what exactly happening. And that is why many people repeating, I'm repeating this thing again and again. Many people, those who are very good looking, thin, healthy, their BMI is perfect. They say, hey, I should not fall sick. But they do fall sick because of this. So we are learning more in science. And I showed you, I think like you have seen some of the pictures I showed. This is my own research. The pictures are taken by me, and these look so beautiful. Okay, but we need to see the microscope. But they are very dangerous. So again, yes, Sabina, coming back to that kind of thing, seasonal vegetable. So again, you have to say that if you are eating something which is grown in a temperate country, then make sure that you get that during the winter only. Because there's something different over here. Like in the northern hemisphere, the winter is different. Southern hemisphere, the winter is different. The timing is different, right? So you live in Hong Kong, right? You live in Hong Kong. So you have to match Hong Kong winter with the winter of your food. It's very important. Okay. So it's your body need to be, we all talk about the energy, synergy, meditation, yoga. So food synergy is also very important. If you are living right now, it's a summertime period, you get a summer vegetable where we have a summer right now. You can't get a summer vegetable from the winter country right now. Then it doesn't work. Okay, so this is also, there's a like, so that's why we call it food revolution. Yeah. Lavina, you didn't ask any question?
I was
There's
just
so much,
listening at all the
yes,
questions.
so much to ask today. Actually, it's a life changing, it's a behavioral changing seminar basically.
Yep. So I'm sure we will organize many more topics around this, because not only about food that we intake through our mouth, but then there are so many, like you said, there are so many harmful chemicals in our personal care, hair care, skin care, kitchen products, bathroom products, which are also very harmful. So that's a whole range of topics, because everything from the time we wake up till the time we sleep, we are interacting with so many different things which are affecting us. So it's a vast topic indeed, right?
Yes, it is. It is. It is. It is. It is.
So just to make it fun, so those who have happily turned on their videos today, so I have two questions which I am going to put in the chat. You have to answer both correctly, and the person who answers it the quickest will win a very nice detox product from us. Okay, so I know Sangeeta won this last time.
So
but
I can't join.
so you can. So the other option is, if you do, we have Tulsi Brahmi as well. So these are ISO 22000. They meet international food safety standards. That is what Naveda actually stands for. It's very unique. In fact, Dr. Sanjay is our in-house scientist who regulates and makes sure and audits that everything that comes into Naveda is quality controlled and highly audited.
Yeah, I want to say, come here to something, Veena. I really got after Veena to change her mindset. Okay. I really very strictly control her mind, control her behavior, and don't allow her to do anything which is like really little bit compromise with the food safety. That is why her place is very, very strictly controlled by me, and with the zero tolerance scientific policy. So over the time period, Veena has learned a lot, and now she really understands. So I have seen the shift in Veena, and that's what I see. Like there are many people I do that, but that's what we need. It's a collective community effort. One person cannot do it. You need to understand that where we are going, and your whole family is around you. Like means like it's taking care of the children, parents, like the whole family, right? So you learn, you take care of the family. So that's where when Veena is saying like how confidently she's saying ISO 22000, I like it. Okay, that's what we want. And this should be the key mantra for ISO 22000 is a government law, mandatory around the world.
Okay, so the question is coming on now. Okay, get ready. This is only for those who have turned on their video, okay? Go. So look into your question.
The plants. Yes. I think that-
So what happened? Nobody's playing?
Mhm.
Don't worry about getting it right or wrong. You just want to see. So the question is, what do plants release as a defense mechanism? And what are the two certifications which assure food safety? And we've been repeating it on and on and on and on.
What's the second question?
What are the two certifications which assure food safety?
Oh yeah, I know that.
So type it out. Don't say it. Type it out.
I can't type it on my phone. I don't know where to type.
Just down. You can see a chat.
Oh, yeah.
I can see more, but I can't see.
So if
Oh
you
yeah. Oh.
there's a chat. So whoever answers it first correctly will win.
Oh, okay. It's already been answered.
So I've got something from Sabina. I've got something from Monica. Anyone else wants to put the answer? Rovina?
Something.
Sanjay, did you mute yourself? What did you say?
I said like one is example. Oh, very close one from Sangeeta, very close.
But then she has to answer both the questions. Both the questions have to be correct.
Coming close.
Who can answer both the questions correctly?
Yes, coming close.
I want you to type both the answers at one time.
Here you go. Sabina.
So the first one who answered was, let's see. So the first one who answered was
Sabina.
Sabina, but let me see. Sabina has answered. No, Sabina, did you give biotoxins as the answer?
Yes.
No,
No.
I said alkaloids.
Oh, okay, okay, okay.
So actually,
Yeah.
Monica is the closest because Monica wrote biotoxins ISO 22000, but she didn't get HACCP. So Dr. Sanjay, you decide what should I do?
No, no, I'm not going to decide. I just like, but the thing is that, like, let's put in this way. Uh, uh, just remember again, this is very important and life-changing thing. ISO 22000 and HACCP. H HACCP means hazard uh, um, analysis at critical control point. It's an old way. It's an old certification which is now modified as ISO 22000. So you will see mostly ISO 22000, very less HACCP, but this both are used. That's a food safety thing. Second, Sabina keep using the word biochemical. No, it's a biotoxins, right? So I said like it's a biotoxins. And why we are saying toxins? The definition of the toxin is it doesn't kill you immediately. Toxins are going and sitting inside your body for 10, 15 years without disturbing your body. Okay. When it accumulates too much, it takes 10 to 15 years, then only it affect your body. So this is like something very strange. Okay, so I would say like, okay, you put one more question, Veena, to see like between Sabina and Sangeeta, whoever, like, yeah.
Is more closest when I'm looking at all the answers. The quickest to respond is between Sabina and Monica.
Okay.
So what other question? Anyways, so yes, Sangeeta did answer, but she answered later.
Yeah, I couldn't type.
So
Okay.
it is between Sabina and Monica. So anyways, I have two presents. So one will get the tea and one will get a detox. All right. So you do have to come to Naveda to collect it. We're in Chimsachoy. You haven't come and visited our center, so it's a great opportunity for you to come and visit us as well. I know Monica Sabina lives quite far, but I'm sure whenever she gets the time to come to Chimsachoy, she will come. And Monica, hope to see you soon too. Yes, so any other final thing to say before we end the session?
For me, yeah, I just try to put this very important message where I said like, don't buy green vegetables and fruits by looking its texture, like means like try to buy with certain bites. Okay, insect bites. Change this habit. This is very, very important. Regarding fish, it's called the blue tech fish. Agriculture Fishery Department has launched this. There's a lot of advertisement about it, which is like a safety kind of things for the fish. But try to avoid like a lot of things if you can keep doing for some time and learn about this topic a little bit more because these are like a very like a surface level kind of things. If you continuously attend 2 3 topics, like we will have some time, it's called how to read the food labels, right? So you
Yeah.
combine that how to read the food labels with this, and then one or more topic together, then you can become like very smart buyer. So when you go to the grocery store and anywhere, you're really investing in your life and your family and friends life, right? So you're not buying anything wrong. So that's very important, you know. That's what called the smart purchasing. So that's my message today. Thank you.
All right, so
Thank you, doctor. Thank
thank you
you.
Thank
Pleasure.
you very much. Thank you.
Thank you.
we will keep updating you about our upcoming webinars and seminars. Do like our Facebook page, Naveda Wellness. We are on Instagram as well, Naveda Wellness. Like us so that we can keep you informed of all our upcoming seminars, webinars, and programs. Do come and visit us. We are in Chimsachoy, 5th floor, 6 Hankow Center, opposite the Peninsula and the YMCA Hotel. And you will come and see that we have a range of products which meet international food safety standards and is ISO 22000. From your hair care to your supplements to your food, in the very near future, we will be having a full range of products which will be meeting ISO 22000, including your daily needs as well. Okay? So have a wonderful evening. Good night, everybody. And hope to see you soon again.
Thank you. Thank you, doctor. Thank you, Veena.
Good night.
Good night. Thank you.